so far to harbor life. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand.
This is going to be a different sort of video. I'm not generally against speaking out against things like racism, homophobia, things like that. However, these days, a lot of people so desperately want to be victims that they will go to absurd lengths in order to see bigotry where it doesn't exist. And when you try and hijack my favorite type of media in order to prove it, science fiction, you go too far and you need to be corrected. Allow me to read the title of this article so that all of you can understand where I'm coming from. How Hollywood's Alien and Predator movies reinforce anti-black racism. Now, allow me to explain very simply why this article and this theory fails. The author of this piece isn't a fan of either franchise. If they have watched them, it's been in passing, and they don't know anything about the lore behind them. The first hint comes in the image behind the title. This is a screenshot from the god-awful Alien vs. Predator Requiem, a film so literally dark I couldn't tell what was going on for the majority of it. But not only is it a terrible movie, that thing right there, that's not an alien, or xenomorph as they're more frequently called. That's the Predalien, a hybrid alien of a predator and a xenomorph. Nobody likes that thing. Why is it the banner for your article? The article opens by asking some questions about anti-black racism in the United States. Now, I won't speak very much on this, I don't live there, I don't know, and our cops are generally good people here in Canada. It then postulates that a part of this culture of racism might stem from the tolerance of demonic representations in media of black people. My eyebrow is raised, but maybe he has a point. I've seen American History X. Let's see where he's going with this. The short answer is that we are dealing with a culture of domination. It is a culture that thrives on the sexualized demonization of black people. Two examples of this are Ridley Scott's Alien, which comports with the trope of black women as alien breeders, and Predator, written by brothers Jim and John Thomas, that riffs on images of black men as dreadlocked, violent, and superhuman. Now my theory is confirmed. This dude never watched these movies at all. Let's go through each one and talk about why. The xenomorph of the Alien franchise was designed by Gee-ger, a Swiss artist who always had a very specific style. He was known for body horror work, frequently showing humans and machines connected in cold biomechanical embraces, often with overtones of disturbing sexuality. If anyone remembers the band Korn, their singer, Jonathan Davis, had a microphone stand designed by Gee-ger that was a tall, misshapen, nude android woman. Geiger's style was used to create a specific effect with the xenomorph, as Geiger had explicitly stated on record that he wanted the alien to make men sexually uncomfortable. Consider the following. The xenomorph has a distinctive phallus-shaped skull, while its physique contrasts this by being decidedly feminine. Additionally, it reproduces by sexually assaulting a host, who then becomes impregnated with a creature that will then violently tear its way out of the host. The whole thing is meant to play on homophobia and reversing sex roles in order to play up the body horror aspects of the film. So, this article has two basic points to make about the xenomorph. It's black, and it breeds quickly. Therefore, according to him, it is a representation of black women as super fertile breeders whose sexuality must be controlled. This is literally the first time I'm hearing of this trope, but consider the following. It's also extremely reminiscent of insect breeding, in which a single queen will produce hundreds or thousands of offspring. Insects also have exoskeletons. So do xenomorphs. As for the alien's skin being black, that's an obviously aesthetic choice. I don't know if the author of the article realizes this, but in the first film, which doesn't introduce the rampancy of xenomorph breeding by the way, that comes in the second movie, the alien is alone and attempting to survive in an isolated, hostile environment. The fact that it's black is to allow it to hide in the many dark and dingy corners of the Nostromo, waiting until its victims get close, and then it can jump out and scare the audience. The color is there to make it hard to see, and to disguise from the fact that it's a man in a rubber suit. Now for the Predator. No, I'm not calling it by its lore-friendly name, it's stupid. The article claims that the Predator is a representation of overpowered violent black men, and its main connection to this is that it has dreadlocks. I mean, not technically, but they look like dreadlocks. In fact, I will admit Stan Winston's design of the Predator was partially inspired by Rastafarian artwork that was hanging in the producer's office. However, it ignores the fact that the Predator's actual skin is an off-white color, and it isn't necessarily a violent, unhinged killing machine anyway. It is part of a hunter culture that is advanced enough to have interstellar starships and, according to Alien vs. Predator, was smart enough of helping the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids. This isn't a dumb killing machine. It has rules and it follows them. In the first film, it shows a macabre form of respect for the character of Billy, who offers the creature a combat challenge. Though Billy is killed, the Predator takes his skull as a trophy, seeing him as a worthy opponent.
Dylan! You son of a bitch. Bunch of slack-jawed around here.
This happens again with Schwarzenegger's character of Dutch once he disables the Predator's cloaking device. At this point, the Predator discards its energy weapons and its mask and engages him in hand-to-hand combat.
You one ugly motherfucker.
As we progress to the second film, we see more of this evidence of civilized culture. While fighting on a subway train, the Predator picks up a woman, sees that she is pregnant, and puts her down, allowing her to live. In addition, it's stated that the only victims on the train are those who were armed. At the end of the film, Danny Glover's character kills the Predator and is then approached by more of them who hand him a trophy and leave without harming him. Once we get to 2006's Alien vs. Predator, the Predator not only spares a human character, but assists her. After she shows that she can be used to his cause of stopping the Xenomorphs, the Predator gives her a spear and a shield, and marks her face in some kind of ritualistic display of a truce. So no, the Xenomorphs and the Predators have absolutely nothing to do with racism. They're dangerous insects and tribal hunters, respectively. It gets worse when you start examining the casting of these movies. Alien in 1979 cast a black man in a leading role, not common for sci-fi films of the era. That film's hero is a woman, and the film even employs classic horror movie trope of yonic imagery during her journey to hero status. The first Predator film has two leading black characters. The second Predator film has a black male hero lead. Aliens vs. Predator has a black female hero lead. These are not movies that are afraid to be a little progressive at times. It seems to me that the author of this piece, too upset by anti-black racism in the USA, lashed out at the first piece of science fiction he could find, and he chose poorly. He saw racism where he should have saw thought-provoking ideas and progressive lead characters. Hell, I think one of the newer Alien movies even has a gay character. I haven't really watched them since Prometheus, though. So, I guess what I'm saying is, stop seeing racism everywhere. See it where it actually exists. If you have to cling to a few very basic tropes that are open to interpretation, you're trying too hard. That's all. Take care, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications. If you want to support me further, consider becoming a member or a patron, or checking out my merch or my Amazon links. Thank you, and I will see you over the curve, Space Cowboys.
In a vast cosmic arena. Our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some